everybody, welcome back for part 2 of the On Tour with Hobbii. In case you guys missed it, I do have a part 1, so I will go ahead and link the video right here. But this has been a really fun project so far. Again, Hobbii has an official product agreement with Le Tour de France, so let's continue making this tote bag. Of course, I have all of my wonderful yarn right here, and I do have my patches that I made from the first video, so I'm really excited to add to these and start to put together the final tote bag. Of course, stage 5 has already started, so this is a really fun one. The theme of stage 5 is Alpe d'Huez. We would like you to focus on something you find challenging in your craft so you can overcome the challenge along with the riders. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe at this point in Le Tour de France, they're actually starting to bike near or like beside the mountains. So as we've already seen with my very first patch, here she is. I did crochet like a little cruiser bike. So I figure at this point for this stage, as we've all seen with my previous grafgans, this has been a huge challenge for me. This is actually kind of a struggle. So I would like to give the grafgans another go again. So for stage 5, since it's actually the theme of the mountain, I would like to do a little grafgan of a mountain, maybe a little bit of snow atop. And if I have some time, I will go back in and try to hand stitch and hand embroider some trees, some greenery. Quick little update. I finished my little grafgan. It's nothing spectacular, but I figured this time I would try my best to keep this a little bit more simplified instead of trying to overdo it and then just destroy and ruin the entire image. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water down below the mountain. I've got a couple different mountains just because I want to space this across my little rectangle. And then lastly, I have shaded in the areas where I'm going to add a little bit of like snow atop the mountain. Let's go ahead and just start stitching this all together. And I just wanted to pop on here real fast and remind you guys that Hobbii is actually doing this On Tour with Hobbii challenge all over their website and their Instagram. So if you guys want to head on over to their Instagram, check out the daily challenges and just kind of play along with them, you do have the chance to win free yarn literally every single day of this race. All right, it's time to show you guys my stage 5 patch. So I hope you guys are able to tell what's going on here, but here is my mountain, just kind of representing the Alpe d'Huez. I don't even know how to say it right, but yeah, I've got my little mountain tops here. I've got some snow on the top, and I decided to go in last minute and just kind of like hand embroider on some trees. So you guys kind of get the vibe, but like I showed you guys earlier, I really wanted to keep this patch a little bit more simplified just because the grafgan has been kicking my butt. So now that I've finished up stage 5, it's time to actually start on stage 6 of this On Tour with Hobbii. So I have my little phone pulled up here. So they say the riders of Le Tour de France are facing some long distances over the next couple of days, providing us with loads of inspiration from the scenery. Through mountain passes, long roads, and green fields as long as the eye can see, we're getting so close to the finish line. The theme of this next stage is French flower fields. Whether you love lavender, sunflowers, or the French national flower, iris, there's loads of inspiration to draw from all of the flowers you can find blooming in France. So I'm thinking for this next patch, you guys have seen me kind of jump from embroidery to grafgan and back and forth because the grafgan has just been so hard for me. I think I want to switch back up to just hand embroidery, and I want to keep this next patch even more simple than this one. And I'm thinking about just like hand embroidering on some lavender, some very simple flowers, and add in a few different shades of my purple here for my lavender. So I'm so glad that they were able to provide these colors. But let's just go ahead and get started. I'm hoping to get this thing done today because I think I need to start working on the next patch very, very soon. So let's get started. I'm really excited to work on some flowers. This was actually such a fun patch to make. So I finished up stage 6 and I just wanted to embroider on these like really basic and simple lavender flowers. So here they are, very cute. I think I used, I don't even know what this is called, like the bullion stitch, or I don't even know, but I just tried my best to embroider just with the knowledge that I had. And this is what I ended up with. I love them and I like the slight bit of color. And I felt like keeping this patch really simple with a basic white background was actually going to make the flowers pop a little bit more. So here is my official stage 6 French flower fields patch. So you guys already guessed it, at this point it is time to finish up the very last stage. Yes, it has already started. It's time for stage 7. So the final theme for stage 7 is Paris, known for fashion, beautiful architecture, cute bistros, the Eiffel Tower, and so much more. However you choose to interpret the city, let it be the source for your inspiration for this last stage of your project. So as you guys have already seen, I've pretty much tackled a bunch of the grafgan projects and I've done a handful of these like little embroidery type of projects. So I'm thinking here for the last and final stage, I want to keep this one extremely simple. And I know that there is like a crochet stitch. I think it's actually called the Paris stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and just make an entire panel using the classic French or Paris stitch pattern. And I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up this project. I feel like I have actually really challenged myself a lot with this project so far. As you guys know, grafgans are kind of hard for me, and the fact that I was able to like mix in a good amount of embroidery and do some like really crazy grafgan things, at least out of my experience, I think I've done a pretty good job and just kind of tapped into my creativity. So yeah, for this final patch, I want to change it up, do a solid color print or a solid color patch using that Paris stitch. And I'll check back in with you guys when I have all 7 patches completed, and then we can just start like putting together, whip stitching the entire tote bag together, and you guys can see the final creation. This has been actually a very challenging and struggle-filled project, but I'm glad that I took this on, and I'm so excited to say that we are literally nearing the finish line. This is the last and final stretch. So let's get to crocheting, finish this bad boy up, and show you guys the beautiful tote bag. All right, everybody, welcome back. We're gonna go ahead and finish up the tote bag. So really quickly here, I wanted to show you guys my stage 7, my final little patch here. Like I told you guys earlier, I wanted to use this really gorgeous, it's kind of like a lacy type of stitch, but if I'm not mistaken, I think this is actually called the Paris stitch. So it's very, very fitting. And of course, I just wanted to use some bright, colorful options. That way my tote bag is not like all one color. So at this point, now that I have all 7 patches completed, I can start like whip stitching and just joining all of the patches together to create the final form. So let's give you guys just a quick rundown again of all of the patches that I have. So first up, stage 1, I have my little bicycle. Stage 2, I've got some really funny, colorful buildings on the French countryside. Next up, we also have the French Temptations. I've got my pie, my little croissant, and my little donut. Next up is my rest day patch, where I used up a bunch of bobble stitch and just made it nice and colorful. They almost kind of look like hearts or like mini flowers, so I like that extra touch. Stage 6, I have my little French flower fields with my lavender applique embroidery, and then again stage 7 is my Paris stitch pattern. So let's just go ahead, pull out the yarn. I'm just going to start joining all of it, and then I'll meet you guys back here to show you the final product. All right guys, I'm back. I know my hair is looking a little crazy. I'm just trying to, you know, test out some new hairstyles with the super short hair, but I'm popping on here to show you guys the final finished tote bag. And I think she looks pretty darn cute. So here she is. I wanted to make it more of like a little handbag, something smaller, because a lot of my other bags are like too big to use. So this is the cute little number that I came up with. I decided to use one of the stage patches for the actual handle of the tote bag. So I've got these here on the front side. I'm loving all the color. I love how this looks. And here is the other side of my cute little tote bag. Again, I have my little Paris stitch pattern down here. Got my little lavender embroidery flowers. So I'm really loving how this turned out. I just love that there's so much color, and it's actually a lot more usable for me because it's just a lot more like petite. I can just kind of throw it on my arm instead of having like some massive oversized tote bag. So yeah, here she is. Thank you again, Hobbii, for allowing me to work with you and Le Tour de France on this official product campaign. I really genuinely love Hobbii's yarns. If you guys couldn't tell by now, this cotton yarn is so versatile, and it's honestly some of the softest cotton yarn that I've come across. So if you guys want to check out their supplies of yarn, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I would highly recommend their yarns. And hopefully you guys were also able to participate with the On Tour with Hobbii challenge and win some free yarns. Let me know down below if you guys participated, if you guys got anything, how it went, what you guys made. Feel free to tag me in your stuff on Instagram. Show me your cute little On Tour with Hobbii patches and everything that you did. And yeah, that's gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, thank you so much, Hobbii, for allowing me to work on this with you guys. I'll be talking to you all very soon. Love you guys.